Why is all of this so encapsulating? It's very entertaining and does a good job at passing the time. Maybe a little too good. The life of overstimulation through media consumption is ever growing in a lot of people, and it's not their fault. These tech companies try to make their softwares as addictive as possible by targeting our dopamine or happiness receptors in our brains, and it gets its users into a vicious cycle of reliance on their apps for their sense of joy. Once you quit, life seems so dull and boring, and you get a bunch of bad feelings like these. So why quit? If we're not happy when we're without it, why put the effort into quitting? Because it's fake happiness. You'll never create the life of true joy if you spend all or a majority of your time on media consumption. And to put it in perspective, say you spend 2 hours a day on your phone, which is the low end, average is 5. 2 hours every day in a year is a month or 30 days worth of time. Just 2 hours. So how do we get out of this vicious cycle? I can't tell you one answer will fix all of it, but I can show you what I did and how I got out of this cycle with the least amount of resistance as possible. Step 1 is to figure out where you're spending your time at. It's, for example, say it's on TikTok. Try to find an app that you can consume, but it's a little less stimulating. So my example would be, if I was addicted to TikTok, I would move down to long form on YouTube, right? If I was addicted to long form on YouTube, I would move down to Substack and Pinterest. If I was addicted to those, I would move down to like learning apps and reading apps like Kindle and the Bible. I really like these learning apps. I think it might be good information to have in case you're trying to spend your time differently on the internet. So in step 1, we try to move the time you spend on the internet into a better place. But in step 2, we're gonna limit that time down. And there's 2 ways you could do this. One is by screen time passwords. This one only works with another person, unfortunately, but the next tip won't. So what this is you give someone that's close to you, it could be your girlfriend, your mom, a really close buddy, whoever, a password that controls the apps on your phone. So say if you only want to use TikTok for 1 hour, you set it 1 hour, give them the password. After that 1 hour ends, it just bans you from the app. You can't use the app anymore for that day. And the next one is a brick. I personally don't have one, but I've seen videos online. And how it works is you tap your phone. It's same just like screen time, where you set a limit. You tap your phone on this brick, and once you tap it again, it unlocks. So you tap it to lock, tap it again, unlock, right? So once you do those 2 steps, it's gonna be pretty easy to quit. But the aftermath of it is very, very boring. This is kind of the hardest part. Once you get out of this environment of scrolling every day, it gets hard because you get so bored and there's so much more time on your hands. So a couple things you can do is to have a what's next mindset. And basically what this is, for example, say you wake up, you're like, oh, what's next? You hop in the shower, oh, what's next? You brush your teeth, oh, what's next? You go for a run. So you just keep asking yourself what's next after each task. So your day is a little more full and you're always staying busy. So you're not just like sitting there bored. And if you are bored, that's fine. That's completely normal to be bored once you're withdrawing from these apps. Tip number 2 is pretty basic. Spend more time on your hobbies. If you don't have any, just go try stuff. If you don't like it, try something else. If you don't like it, try something else until you find your thing. The last thing I have for this video is to realize that creating is the direct counter to consuming. So say you create YouTube videos, you're not going to consume as much. Say you create art, you're not going to consume as much because you're spending your time giving instead of taking. So try to create whatever you want. Just try to create something.